universal reaction is to face the prospect of death with fear and despair. And as I mentioned earlier, then death is so horrible and life is so wonderful that it could never make sense to throw it away. And so suicide is both immoral on the one hand and never makes sense. It's always irrational as well, in addition. All right. That, as I say, is, I think, a common set of views about the nature of death. And what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be arguing in this class is that that set of views is pretty much mistaken from beginning to end. And so I'm going to try to convince you that, there is no soul, immortality would not be a good thing, fear of death isn't actually an appropriate response to death, suicide under certain circumstances might be rationally, morally justified. As I say, the common picture is pretty much mistaken from start to end. That's at least my goal. That's my aim. That's what I'm going to be doing. Now, since, of course, I believe the views I believe in, I hope at the end of the semester you'll agree with me, because I think they're true, and I hope you'll end up believing the truth. But I should say that the crucial point isn't for you to agree with me. The crucial point is for you to think for yourself. And so what I'm really doing is inviting you to take a good, cold, hard look at death and to face it and think about it in a way that most of us don't do. If you, at the end of the semester, haven't agreed with me about this particular claim or that particular claim, so be it. I'll be content. I won't be completely content, but I'll be at least largely content as long as you've really thought through the arguments on each side of these various issues. Carrie, maybe this would be a good time for to pass around the syllabus. All right. Next introductory remark. A lot of today's talk is going to be devoted to business. I'll get to, if time permits, some philosophy at the end. I want to make you one more remark about what I'll be doing in terms of this class. This class, as I say, is a philosophy class. We'll basically be sitting here thinking about what we can know or make sense of with regard to death using our reasoning capacities. We'll be trying to think about death from a rational standpoint. One kind of evidence or one kind of argument that we won't be making use of here is appeal to religious authority. So some of you may believe in, for example, the existence of an afterlife. You may believe you're going to survive your death. You may believe in immortality because that's what your church teaches you. And that's fine. It's not my purpose or intention here to try to argue you out of your religious beliefs or to argue against your religious beliefs. All I'm going to ask is that we not appeal to such religious arguments, appeal to revelation or the authority of the Bible or what have you, in the course of this argument, in the course of this class. If you want to, you could think of this class as one big hypothetical. What conclusions would we come to about the nature of death if we had to think about it from a secular perspective, making use of only our own reasoning as opposed to whatever answers we might be given by divine revealed authority? Those of you who believe in divine revealed authority, that's a debate for another day. It's not a debate that we're going to be engaged in here in this semester. And similarly, although I'm not going to ask you in your discussion sections to hide your religious views, you'll be asked, in the course of defending them, to give reasons that would make sense to all of us. All right. That's by way of sort of where the class is going. Let me now turn to some discussion about the requirements of the class, grades, and so forth and so on. The syllabus is going around the class. Almost all of you have it at this point. The syllabus doesn't really say a whole lot. I've already given you an overview of what topics we'll be going to. The crucial point about the syllabus is that it indicates what reading you need to have done for any given week. Now, I've done my best to peg the readings to where I will be on that week's lectures, but I don't lecture with lecture notes for the most part. Sometimes they take a little bit longer than I anticipated. Actually, I often take a little bit longer than I anticipated. No doubt at some point I'll fall behind. At some point I may rush to catch up ahead. It won't always be the case that the readings will exactly coincide with where the lectures are at. Nonetheless, in any given week, for the start of that week, you should have done the readings that are listed for that week. The readings on the syllabus simply say the author, and there's a couple of books that are available at the bookstore. There are a larger packet of readings that's available as a course pack at Tycho's. And so for any given week, you can find the reading, one or two cases, maybe just one actually, where I've got more than one article by the given author. I've given the title of the article as well. Shouldn't be difficult to locate the reading for any given week. The format of the class, of course, is a familiar and straightforward one. I'll be sitting here lecturing twice a week, this time 10:30 to 11:20. Once a week, you will break up into discussion sections. The discussion sections will meet for 50 minutes. You, of course, will have a single time. Each one of you will have a single time. There will be different times the discussion sections meet. For the first time, the philosophy department has just switched over to the online discussion section registration system. I'm not 100% certain how that works. I've not used it before. I take it the idea is something like this. Right now, if you were to shop the class, you could find the tentative list of discussion section days and times. So be sure to find some time that works for you. You can't actually register for any of those discussion section times yet, but as of, I think, next week, when you're able to begin your online registration, you will be able to register for any discussion section that still has a slot, still has a space open in it. In fact, you won't be able to finalize your discussion. You won't be able to finalize your registration for your courses until you've actually signed up for an available slot. Once you have registered, if some other slots become available that weren't previously available, I gather you'll be sent some sort of email by the system in case some other time would be better for you. You can put yourself on waiting lists and so forth. It sounds pretty good on paper. Maybe it'll all work smoothly. I've never been through it before. I hope we won't have any problems. But right now, what you want to make sure is that there is a time that's available. I mean, right now, all the times are available, but that there is a time that works for you. Because if you can't find a discussion section that works for you, you won't be able to take this course. Any questions about that? Any questions I should actually ask? Any questions about anything that I've asked or said so far up to this point? Let me make a remark about questions, which is, today's mostly business. Hopefully it'll be fairly straightforward. But both today and throughout the entire semester, as I'm lecturing, I want to invite you to jump in with questions. Well, jump in's a bit of an exaggeration. I don't want you to just start talking, but raise your hand. If I'm saying something that you don't understand, the chances are pretty good that there's 25 or 50 other students in the class who don't understand it either. I'm just not being clear. And so I want to welcome you. I really want to invite you whenever you've got some reactions to the things that I'm saying. Shelly, raise your hand. I'll call on you. Say, Shelly, I didn't really understand what you were saying about the soul. Could you please explain that again? Or for that matter, if you've got some quick reactions or thoughts or responses to the arguments that I'm laying out and you want to share them with the class as a whole, then very much I want to invite you to do this. Now, this class is too big for us to have some, close, intimate conversation between the 150, 180, however many students there are here. That's not going to happen.